Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the introductory session of InfoEdge Ventures AI Hackathon powered by Hack to Skill. My name is Shakti Singh, and I will be your host for today. Uh, so, before I kick off the session, let me just pull up my screen. I'll flash up some slides for you. And Arya, can you do that for us? Great, thank you so much. And if you still haven't heard about the InfoEdge Ventures AI Hackathon, then I must say you are missing out on one of the biggest AI hackathons this year. So we'll talk about here a little bit more in depth. We'll talk about the briefings and we'll talk about the InfoEdge Ventures AI Hackathon 2024. We will also be joined by our guest speakers today, and they'll talk about in depth about this initiative, the vision behind, and all of those. What are we here for? What are we going to cover? Is very static and is mentioned right here on your screen. We are going to meet our speakers. We'll talk about InfoEdge Ventures, and we'll talk about more in details, right? So the registrations are open till 27th of July. So you head over to Hack to Skills website and check out this amazing opportunity, as this hackathon is where innovation meets imagination. You can harness the power of AI to tackle any challenges that sparks your passion, whether in health tech, finance, education, SaaS, or any field of your choice. Maybe this is your chance to learn from the industry leaders. So why don't you just head over to hacktoskill.com, test groundbreaking ideas, and turn them into working solutions and potential businesses here onwards. So these are the briefings that we are going to discuss today's agenda altogether of this introductory session of InfoEdge Ventures AI Hackathon 2024. We have our guest speakers with us today here, and I'd like to welcome them on the screen with me. Ari, can you do that for us? Great, thank you so much. Now, let me invite our great speakers. Please welcome Kitty Agarwal and Chinmaya Sharma. They are both the partners at InfoEdge Ventures. I would like to pass on the stage to Kitty Agarwal to take over from here and talk a little bit more about InfoEdge and the vision behind.
Sure. Thanks so much, Shakti. Hi, everyone. Very excited to meet all the potential participants. We are very excited about bringing an AI hackathon to Delhi NCR. At InfoEdge, I'm a partner at InfoEdge Ventures. InfoEdge Ventures is an early stage tech investing firm which is backed by InfoEdge, which is the parent company of Naukri.com, 99 Acres, etc., and Temasek, which is the Singapore government sovereign money. Our fund size is roughly $200 million. We are now investing from Fund 2. And the idea of this hackathon is to find teams who are building truly cutting edge innovative products in the AI space, and award them cash prizes as well as seed funding up to 1 crore. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much, Kitty, for that. We'd also like to know more about the stories from you altogether about InfoEdge Ventures. What are the potential, the investment strategies and all of those? Can you just talk about there?
Yeah, sure. So we typically prefer to be the first institutional partner to a startup. So we can come anywhere from pre-launch to, let's say, a Series A is our sweet spot in terms of entry. The check size can be anything from 300K to $5 million. We are sector agnostic. We only invest in tech companies. We don't do non-tech investments. We have an India focus. However, we also have a lot of companies in the overseas space who have business overseas, or who have team members overseas, or various other stakeholders overseas. And We generally try and invest in first movers and category creators.
Great, thanks for adding that up. Very quick. Yes, sorry.
Yeah, maybe Chinmay can add a little more about
Chin-
the fund and our investments when he is also introducing himself.
Of course, of course. Thank you, Kitty. Thank you, Shakti. Thank you for organizing this for InfoEdge Ventures. I must also thank everyone who's taking out the time on this Friday afternoon to spend a few minutes with us to learn more about InfoEdge Ventures. So thank you so much, everyone, for logging in and being here with us. At InfoEdge Ventures, like Kitty mentioned, we are, of course, in the business of investing in early stage companies. And when we say early stage, we really mean as early as you can envision. There's multiple instances where we have invested in, for example, two guys or two girls sitting in a garage trying to think through what they're building next, which basically means that we are as much in the business of investing in companies as in the business of investing in individuals. The individuals or founders that we invest behind tend to be driven, ambitious, and extremely high on integrity. Those are the individuals we typically like to back. We also would like to believe that that's the same set of standards that we like to hold ourselves up to. Just the way the bar we like to set high for our founders, we also similarly like to set the bar high for our own selves. We add value not just in terms of bringing capital, but capital that is definitely extremely patient capital, borderline forever capital. We've of course been around in the industry for the better part of 2 decades, investing across multiple sectors, having seen multiple seed to IPO journeys in companies like Zomato, Policy Bazaar. Ixigo is also another one that IPO'd recently. And hopefully, along the way, we have collected some best practices, some learnings, some do's and don'ts, which we like to help our founders with. Let's keep it moving, Shakti.
For sure. Thanks for adding that up, Chinmaya. I'd also request you if you can throw some light on the initiative that we are talking about here.
Of course. Of course. Like I mentioned, we are in the business of investing in really early, investing in companies quite early. Now, we heard of AI yesterday. I'm joking. I mean, the world sort of woke up to the power of AI, over the course of last 2 years or so, ever since that fateful October Chat GPT got public. But as it happens, we have always been investing in companies that deploy technology at the forefront of solving problems for their customers, whether individuals or businesses. Very often, the technology that our portfolio companies are deploying happen to be deriving from techniques like machine learning or artificial intelligence. So while this initiative is called AI Hackathon, I highly encourage every single participant to not think of this as a hackathon where you need to build a product using AI. Think of this as a hackathon where you're trying to solve a problem that is extremely real, either for an individual or a business. Make sure it's a problem that you understand, that you've spoken to people about, or better still, have some first-hand experience on. And if AI can possibly play a role in this problem being solved better than the way it is done today, then spot on. That's exactly the kind of ideas, that's exactly the kind of overview that we are, that's exactly the kind of execution that we are looking to learn more about from the work that you do. Now, in terms of the process that the AI hackathon will follow, perhaps Shakti, you want to move to the slide with different stages, and we'll come back to this.
With the timeline one?
Yes.
Okay. Very good.
Right. So today is the 19th of July. Today is when we are doing this informal session just to make sure that anyone who's interested gets to hear from us about how we are thinking through this AI hackathon. Today also represents a great opportunity for people, for all of you to ask us any questions that you may have. But we do realize that not everyone who is interested will be able to make time today, and therefore there's another opportunity scheduled for the 24th of July to ask us any questions that you may have. And when we say any questions, we literally mean any question. Is this idea fit for the AI hackathon? Can I do it remotely? We are a team of 4 people. I'm a team of just 1 person. Is this AI enough for you guys? Whatever kind of questions you have, just feel free to ask us those questions today or on the 24th. Then we will release a date for some discussions post the AMA sessions. Remember that our registrations are already open. The registrations and submissions close on the 27th of July. You will find the link on our LinkedIn posts or across multiple social media channels. The registrations are already open. As a part of the registrations, you'll want to talk a little bit about the team, the idea that you have, perhaps do a demo video and share as much information as you can. We will then announce the shortlisted teams in the first week of August. We are planning for anywhere between 10 to 20 teams, likely somewhere around 15 teams to be shortlisted. And those close to 15 teams will then subsequently, in the second week of August, likely on the 10th of August, be invited to our offices in Gurugram, which is where you'll spend an entire day presenting to a jury. The jury will have some exceptional business leaders from the country. We are not announcing the jury yet, but you'll get to spend time with the jury and with the broader team of InfoEdge Ventures. Within a couple of days, we will come back with the list of winners on who wins the prizes, who gets the funding, and so on. That's more or less the major milestones. Perhaps, Kitty, you want to talk through who the hackathon is meant to target. Shakti, do you want to go back to the previous slide, please?
Sure.
So just pulling that up.
Yeah, so actually, this hackathon is very broad based. We want everyone from current students to working professionals, any number of years of experience, to someone working in startups, to someone who is maybe even a corporate executive but has an idea on the side in terms of what they can build in AI and what problem they want to solve. Even though any kind of innovation coming out of anywhere is welcome. We are very, very neutral in terms of where the product or the innovation comes from. It will be judged on just the pure merit of the solution. So I would encourage anyone out there who wants to build something and maybe even just get our feedback with some preliminary build out or something like that. Even that is great.
Great. Last but not the least piece of the hackathon, would you like to talk a little bit about the perks and the benefits?
Sure. So, because we are in the business of early stage investing, we would love to see which team looks very promising, which product looks very promising, and give them seed funding up to 1 crore. The terms can be further decided, but we are going to keep it extremely simple and probably do a straight equity deal for the 1 crore. Alongside, we also have cash pool prizes, and this is a total pool of 6 lakhs to whoever wins and anyone else who we feel deserves some part of this because of their solution or their initiative. And finally, this is also a great opportunity for our portfolio company founders to see if there is a match with them in terms of people who are part of the hackathon and also want to look out for job opportunities in our tech companies.
And look, like they say, one man's food is another man's poison. If you're not looking for funding because you're not necessarily looking to become a founder, that's all right too. In which case, we won't shove the funding down your throat.
Yeah.
We'll just introduce you to opportunities in our portfolio companies. If on the other hand, you're not looking for a job, then you don't have to worry about the opportunities in our portfolio companies. If you're looking to turn a founder, then of course we'll have the funding conversation with you. And just in case the 1 crore number is too much or too low, just remember that you have the flexibility across all of those fronts. Just show up for the hackathon, do the best job that you possibly can, try and be on the winners list, and then everything on this slide is maneuverable.
Great, thanks for adding that up, Kitty and Chinmay. And for every bit and pieces of the hackathon, it's very exciting. I can see a lot of response coming in the chat. Most of the people are asking questions related to the hackathon. I won't bother you with those much, but one interesting question that I see is talking about a little bit, how do you decide the winners? So I'll pull that out on the screen for you. Is what are the criteria to decide the winners? Any benchmarking that you're looking into?
Krishna, great question. Thank you for answering that. I imagine that this question and the answer to it will be useful for a lot of people who are watching this right now. Look, in terms of how we judge, there will of course be criteria that each team will be scored against numerically. We are not thinking of this as a quote unquote competition. We are thinking of this literally the way think about companies when we meet them from the point of view of funding them versus not, which basically means that just because a team is only 18 years old, we are going to say that, look, even if your product or idea is not as mature or developed as another participant who's slightly more mature, you don't necessarily get any advantage. So the importance and the relevance of the problem that you're solving, the approach of the solution, how relevant is the solution. And number 3, we are of course going to see, what kind of execution you have done so far. Now, these are of course broad criteria, but think of this as each of these criteria will involve a bunch of other topics. So, for example, when we talk about the problem, we're also going to think through, what is the market size, of the problem that you're trying to solve? Who's the customer? Will this customer be willing to pay? What sort of ability do they have to pay? Similarly, when we think through, the approach or the solution, we are going to, of course, compare it to other existing solutions in the market, which basically means your competitive landscape. How are you going to sell it? What is technically called, the GTM, etc. We're going to think through all of that in the second criteria. And in the third criteria, where we are talking about the execution, that is where the actual prototype that you've built, we are going to make sure that we spend some time on the prototype. What vision do you have for the prototype or the MVP, the minimum viable product that you've built? What is the product roadmap that you have for it? That's going to matter. So these are broadly, the three buckets or the three criteria across which we will think through every submission.
Great, thanks for adding that up. I've got an interesting question again, backing that up. That's asked by Rani Ray. We'll pick up a few questions. I'll pull that up for you on the screen.
Sure.
So Rani Ray has to ask, will you fund ideas in categories you already have companies in your portfolio?
We typically don't invest in competing companies, but this is a very different idea, right? The hackathon is super early for a lot of people, and the idea is that you're building something innovative. So we are assuming that if a solution fully already exists, then we'd not find something which is exactly like to like. And maybe if it's basically solving the same problem, but there's a different approach, fresh approach, new AI-led approach, then of course, why not?
Of course, Rani, to keep that as a check, and we'll see your ideas and all of the ideas coming down the line for this hackathon. We'll just have one more question picked up from the chat, and we should be good enough to answer because I'm just picking up questions which are common for everybody else. Krishna has another question for us. Krishna asks, will evaluation be done based on the business opportunities or basis on societal benefits?
Business opportunity. Of course, every good business opportunity also has societal benefits, but the primary judging criteria is going to be business opportunity. Also, I would like everyone to know that on the expert panel, we are going to have very highly reputed experts. So anyone who is winning or whichever opportunity gets sort of the prize, etc., is going to be very deeply vetted in terms of the tech specs and how good quality is the build, etc. as well.
Great, thanks for adding that up, Kriti. There. So yeah, we've almost covered all of the questions there on the chat, which are common for everybody else. Then there are questions which I can answer in a one go if you may allow. I'll just pull up my screen.
Shakti, is it okay if we take your leave?
Yeah, because we are anyway doing an AMA, right, on 24th July. So there we can maybe just take the individual questions, and right now maybe you can help answer at your end.
For sure. Thank you so much, Kitty, and thank you so much, Chinmaya, for your insights. I'm sure
Thank
now.
you, Shakti, and thank you to everyone
Thank
who
you.
joined.
Thanks everyone who joined in. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much. Have a great evening. Thank you. Just to answer everybody's question on the chat, I have my screen. I hope that is visible to all of you. I'll just quickly walk you through how the processes are from hence onwards. People who are already registered know when the idea submission is closing and when the registration are also closing. But people who are watching us fresh, people who have come down to this platform for the very first time, this is your opportunity to make it to the AI segments, to the AI ecosystem itself. So make sure you go to hacktoskill.com, check out the AI hackathon, which is present to you by InfoEdge Ventures and powered by Hack to Skill. So as you can see on the timeline, the registrations and the idea submissions will close on 27th of this month. So by the time you need to register, form out a team and make your ideal team, and therefore submit an idea, a typical solution which is driven by AI backed up solution. And therefore we'll move ahead and look at your ideas, and then the shortlisting will happen. The finale will take place with certain number of teams, which is the grand finale offline and happening in Gurugram at the InfoEdge Ventures office itself. So this is typically the steps forward from here once you register yourself. Once you register, all you need to do is, I'm just repeating myself, form up a team, submit your great idea. We'll have a shortlisting process and evaluation round with mentors onboarded, and therefore we'll be announcing a list of teams who will be invited to the grand finale offline. So, how can inform a team? Okay, just to add up there. So once you register, I'm just picking up some questions from the chat. So once you register, you land onto a typical dashboard itself. Dashboard participants dashboard, your personalized dashboard is there. Over there, if you just scroll down, you'll be able to see the team management section. Let me check if I can pull that up for you. Okay. So that's the website. If you go to hacktoskill.com and you find InfoEdge Ventures AI Hackathon 2024, that's the website that you're going to land onto. And once you're there, you need to just register yourself, right? How do you register? This button should be registered now for all of you because I am already registered for you to give out this demo. That's why it says dashboard. So once somebody is registered, registration will ask typical, fields which you need to fill up, which is required for both us to, have a look at your profile. Once you're registered, you'll be landed onto a page like this, right? Which says welcome and then your name, and then there are categories that you can choose into, right? The problem statements, the themes that you must, choose one. If you click onto this team management, then after you should be landed onto this section which says team management. Create your own team or join a team which is open for members. If some team is already listed and have listed themselves as we are accepting more members from the ecosystem, you'll be able to see those there. Else you'll find that list empty, and then you need to form up your own teams. Join our Discord channel. We've got thousands of developers there itself. Do find out your sole idea mate, and therefore you'll be able to form up a team and then make the submissions. Once you're done with the team formation, all you need to go do is brainstorm on your ideas, brainstorm on your solutioning, and then come down to this submission piece, click here, and then fill out the right details and submit. That should be enough from your side before we start evaluating your idea, and before we just go ahead and shortlist or maybe announce the shortlisted teams and all of those. But that's it from our side. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today here. And we're really excited to see all of your creative and innovative ideas coming down onto our side. And we should, be the ones pulling our hairs to, find out and filtering out the processes. But all the very best. And thank you so much for joining us today. It was lovely. Have a great evening. Have a great weekend ahead. Thank you so much.